Okay, this video is going to deal with readability statistics. In a previous assignment, which I believe is your Think, Pair, Share number 2, vocabulary and readability and vocabulary measures, you'll have prepared for this in some way. So in fact, actually this video will help inform what you do for Think, Pair, Share number 2, as well as text analysis number 1. Text analysis number 1 deals with the vocabulary, as we talked about in the other video, and the readability measures, which we're going to talk about now. So, in a way, we're trying to kill two birds with one stone with this video. Okay, I indicated in the syllabus that there are a wide range of readability measurements for a particular text. What I would like you to do is to dig deep for the Think, Pair, Share and research how these readability tools are calculated. That is to say, based on what? Is it based primarily on phonological information? Is it based on morphological information? Is it based on sentence length, which is really it's semantic information? Although number of words, can you say that number of words is equal to the number of propositions? I'd like to see how you guys argue it out. But anyway, think about the meaningfulness of these readability calculators, because we have to make a decision about how appropriate they are for L2 learners. So, one of the most common readability calculators is the Frey-Raygor. I've also seen Sprach being used. But what we do is we are going to take a sample text. Let's see. I did enough on airplanes today, so let's talk about hamburgers. I'm going to copy a source of text. You ideally would like to pull something from, for example, a history book or something from English class that a middle schooler or a high schooler might be using. And we're going to put that into the readability calculator. This says 300 to 600 words. And I check the checkbox. And I check the readability. Let's see. So we're going to show the Frey graph, and this locates it here. Right, and look, it deals with long words and it deals with long sentences. So why don't you interpret that, what that means to language? Okay, recognizing that reading and reading ability is not contingent simply upon one's ability to process words and long sentences, etc., etc. Also a number of syllables. Okay. When we look at the Raygor graph, you'll notice that we end up with a slightly different measure. So this one puts it between grades 13 and 14, and this one puts it between grades 8 and 9. I think what's important is that when you decide to use a readability scale, whichever one you choose to use, that you at least are consistent. And then you see a whole bunch of other text characteristics here. Okay, so this is certainly one way of, well, here are actually two ways of doing it, Frey-Raygor, which often tend to be used together. But you can certainly explore other ones, as you will be doing in your Think, Pair, Share number 2. I would also recommend doing a Wikipedia search for readability measures, or even a Google search for readability measures, and try to read as much as you can. Read also about the criticisms of such things. And again, think about how they would relate to a second language learner's competence. Okay. All right. So in Word, I have the same text, and we can actually determine the readability statistics through Microsoft Word. I'm not exactly sure what the calculation method is. Maybe that's something you'd want to look up. But let me show you how to at least activate it. So if you're working in a word processor, you've got some basis for doing so. You're going to go into Preferences. You're going to go into Spelling and Grammar, and there is a checkbox right there, Show Readability Statistics. And there you go, and that would activate it. Now it's not going to pop up anywhere. What you need to do is check the grammar. Let's ignore it. Yes, ignore. And then at the end of grammar checking, what you will find is the readability statistics here. This is Flesch Kincaid, Flesch Reading Ease. And you'll notice that there's this measure for reading ease that you really should look into, because it seems to be a very different number than a grade level. So there you have it. This should hopefully get you started with at least coming up with readability statistics, and you just need to spend some time figuring out how to interpret them in general, and then figuring out how to interpret them in light of a second language learner's competence. Okay.